I just like the idea of doing something that's never been done.
And this is Andreas Talks Art. Each episode we'll be sitting down with various artists discovering the triumphs and failures of their creative pursuit. As always, leave me a review, let me know how I'm doing, and if you enjoyed this episode, share with one of your friends. Let's do this thing. What up? It's Andreas, and we're back with another episode of Andreas Talks Art. And today, we got a special guest on. One of my friends from, back in middle school, Evan Christensen, also known as Evan Likes Ink. And this was awesome. I've been waiting to sit down and talk with him for a long time, and I'm pretty stoked on how this one came out and psyched for you guys to hear it. So let's get into it and let's talk some art.
Dude. Like, you've been there since middle school doing doodles.
I mean, for sure, you're the first person I've ever collabed with. Like, I remember a lot back in English class, doing crazy full-page doodles,
That was the first piece I ever sold.
That's what's
in
up.
English class, yeah.
It, like, for me, the G2 gel pens, that was a game changer.
Yeah, I still use G2s all the time.
Yeah. And, I don't know, I'm stoked to have you on because this has been, like we were saying, a build-up. You've been wanting to be on since, like, the beginning. But not only that, like, me and you as artists and artists together, like, we've gone through a lot, bro. Like, it's been awesome. Been on a crazy journey since, like you said, middle school.
Definitely have. And
doing gel pen, like, full page creations to making masks back in school and just seeing who could build, like, the biggest nose. So I'm wondering if you remember when you got into art.
Yeah, I definitely remember a drawing. It was because of you, honestly. I remember I forget her name. It was like a 7th or 8th grade art class. And, like, in our downtime, she gave us all, like, these huge, like, 1824 pieces of paper just to, like, doodle on, draw whatever you want. And then I just started doodling, like, just a bunch of, like, logos of, like, skate companies and, like, just like lettering and that kind of stuff. I remember transferring into that art class, getting out of, like, an extra math class or something because you were in that class.
Bro, that was one of the most devastating things that ever happened to me. Like, having to take remedial math, extra class of math during the day in replace of art. Like, devastating.
Not gonna happen. That was definitely, like, it definitely was sometime in middle school. It was, like, the turning point, or the point that, like, I realized I really like to do this, not just in my spare time in school, but also it comes out looking pretty sick most of the time.
Yeah.
And it was just always a black pen on notebook paper. So that's definitely how I feel like I've just kind of stuck with that black and white type, like, look pretty much my whole career thus far.
Yeah, I mean, that's your style right there with the bird and everything. And it's so interesting because that played a big part in my art too. And I have always used a lot of color even back in high school, because we would use the pens, and I remember just using like I'd buy the packs, the multicolor packs, using all the colors, but a lot of your like design aspect, like lines and geometric shapes. But I'm wondering if like creativity was a part of you before even any of this, because I was like looked as you as like one of the most creative guys I knew. Just everything, like your taste in like music, always searching for like weird and different stuff, and just kind of stepping outside of the ordinary.
Yeah, it's a really hard thing to know where creativity comes from.
Yeah.
Maddie, my girlfriend, is actually studying psychology and studying like a question of, does like, I forget her exact question, but it has to do with like creativity, how you measure creativity, and like what like do creative people seem to be more like have more of these characteristics, that kind of thing. But no, so it's hard to know where it comes from. Is that your question, or like just like? I
guess if there's anything in you before art that was creative,
right. I mean, like, there has to be.
But so going down that, so what are some of the characteristics that creative people tend to hold?
I would say, well, I think she's theorizing this, or she's asking that as a like research question.
Okay.
If they tend to be more like liberal, more communal thinking rather than individualistic thinking.
Yeah.
Those types of people. But no, I mean I don't know what it is that like sparks that, I guess, but that just drawing like in middle school was the first thing that I like caught my attention of it. You know, like the first drawing? Medium that I was able to be creative in that like really caught my attention.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then so you found other mediums that caught your attention in the same way, or no?
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, music and like just building, kind of like, whether it's like with like wood or like any types of like, you know, hands-on kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, because I like that stuff too, and that relates to some of my style of art too. A lot with like back to like the geometric, and art is kind of this form of building, which is what makes it interesting to me, because you're able to create something out of nothing, similar to like making something out of wood. And that was just a big draw to me, like through art. And back to like being in high school, it was also an escape, you know, because like
definitely was.
It was all based in your like imagination, so you could go to these crazy worlds, you know, and drawing characters and making up little lands and stuff. And then after college, during college, I feel is when you and I like really sparked as artists even more, and the collabs we were doing totally changed, and they became this kind of back to what we were saying about like creating, where we were just like attacking canvases with paint and shit and going crazy, bro, and finding stuff in it. And that was a huge change to like my perspective. So what was that like for you, like coming into all that? Because
that was the biggest shift in my art experience so far. Was like first when, especially like with the Yanni too,
right?
When we would collab with Yanni, like, and the first time we did that in Dom's Woods, that was insane. I've never like thought about painting like that, or like going about art in that way, because I've always like just stuck to one style. So like that was like really like a breakthrough almost. I mean, not almost, definitely.
So that changed your like style from...
That definitely changed everything.
Yeah.
Like it's like everything about this kind of stuff is like just as precise as I can get it. Super small, fine details, and you're just going at it with like a complete, the complete opposite, which is great because you can, still add this kind of stuff to it, which makes it even cooler sometimes.
Did you feel attacked?
A little bit. Definitely. I was drawn back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I was just not used to this like style or method of going about making art, which is really cool. Like, I don't know, that's definitely changed a lot of my art.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think my first experience with that was with...
And it's just so much more fun. Like, this takes time and, like, focus a lot, and, like, a lot of, it hurts your hand sometimes.
Yeah.
But, no, it's just so much fun, like painting, like, a abstract expressionist style or something.
Why is that?
It's just you're more involved with it seems. You're more, like, it's more of a... You feel like... I don't know, more? You feel more of a connection to the painting. Yeah. It's just more fun.
It's just
when you just let go of everything.
So tell me how this one went. Did you have that vision in your head before you started drawing?
No, definitely not.
No.
No, it always just, and still up to this day, just starts as totally random, and then you just keep going and it forms into something, and then you just run with that, make it into whatever you see. So it started with like these weird, awkward triangles in the center.
Just building off the triangles.
But then it became more cohesive, and I don't know.
Yeah, but it's the same idea as the abstract. Like, this is an abstract, just more conformed and more. So because it's more conformed, you have to be precise with it and take your time. It's a lot. It's definitely a slower process, and that's true, but it doesn't have to be that way, because you can just see that and run with a different. It doesn't have to be like that detailed or whatever. Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something satisfying about just getting the lines like as crisp as possible, and like, I don't know. But there's also something satisfying about getting them as sloppy as possible.
Right. Yeah, and finding like beauty in the sloppiness.
Yeah.
So are you able to like combine the two, or are they totally separate for you in your pieces? Do you combine the abstract and the detail? And
I definitely combine. I've been combining them more recently.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to combine those styles, I guess, because it seems like almost just two different pieces layered on top of each other. Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's hard to work it in well.
Finding the cohesion, yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it works really well. But I definitely am going to continue experimenting with bringing them both together, making them fit better together.
Yeah. Okay, so after this like explosion of art between you, Yanni, and I, because I'd say the same for me. Like, the first time I ever experienced that kind of art was with Yanni in the woods, like making this crazy abstract tree. And then after that, like, us three lived together for a while, and that caused us to just collaborate all the time. And through that, we started Dude Imagine.
Yeah.
So we started just. Where did you come in with this? I'm wondering how like you saw this unfolding, because
I'm not sure where I kind of came into it. I transferred schools so that I could go, like, live with you guys and just pretty much be there to collab on art and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what Dude Imagine was gonna be, but I was just like excited about it because like I don't know, that was like the first of your really business ventures, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of us knew what it was going to be. It was just...
And it still can be something.
Yeah. But basically, we're just trying to see, like, if we could make it as artists or just make anything from art.
Yeah, make a little money.
Yeah.
Maybe
just see what could become of it.
Yeah, no, just start a... Right.
Yeah. And like through that we went to like different art shows like Pancakes and Booze.
Big Dub.
That was by far one of like the craziest art
doing
experiences.
That all the time.
Yeah, because we totally just made a makeshift setup at this festival. Like not makeshift, but
amongst all the other professionally set up like vendors, we were just like some dudes with tie-dye shirts.
Yeah.
Our tents set up with like bamboo.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, everyone had like their tents with like printed like their logos and graphics, like looking super clean, and then ours had like one of the things broken in and like it was dipping down. It was crazy, and we just threw ourselves into it,
Yeah.
Not
it was
really
like the best learning experience.
Yeah.
Just throwing yourself right into something like that you don't know anything about.
Like,
I mean, not anything, like not much.
No, not much at all. I like learned how much I didn't know. Like,
right.
What did you learn from it?
I mean, I switched my major into more of like a marketing and business side of things rather than graphic design. Kind of like after, not because of that, but like after that. I don't know, because it's the whole thing about what is art worth, right? Like if you're gonna go to a festival and try to sell like an original painting, like it's so difficult.
Yeah.
And like it's just such a weird thing still. Like I don't know. Like I don't even like try to sell anything anymore.
Why not?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's weird. It's also weird because there's no consensus
kinda
all
like,
around.
Yeah.
Like within different festivals and venues, there can be like different values to art, like
right.
Based on like where you are in the location. So like it's really like what you make it, that's the thing, because it's art, and I feel for me the thing about it is it's so free form that it's kind of scary because of that. Like leaving it like totally up to you, it makes it like limitless. Like the options, you can price it however you want, and it's always like been a big barrier for me,
Yeah.
But
for sure,
in the end of the day, like there's got to be something bigger than like money to do art, I can't be the leading factor. So it's more of like a byproduct where like you make the art, and if it sells, it's like that's even cooler.
But that's like I was coming into Big Dub as like we're doing this, we're making art to make money at this moment. Especially because you had to like rent out like the vendor space and everything.
Right.
But just like doing art on the side is totally different than that.
And then you kind of want to try and make money off of it when you like in a situation like that.
Right.
So you stopped wanting to like sell your art. Now you're just like making art. Like what are you doing now?
I mean, no, not exactly, but what am I doing now?
With an art?
Yeah,
or
no, I'm
not?
just kind of like, I'm really trying to just find like a refined style that I like a lot. I mean, I like the black and white stuff,
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just so hard to like do another one. I feel like just like, I mean, I'm starting to like just the randomness of painting more and more the more I do it.
So are you doing paintings now?
I've just been like doing a lot of oil paintings recently, but more than everything, I've been getting into digital stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing.
What kind of digital stuff?
Just like, I wanted to learn animation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if like you can consider what I'm doing like right now as animation. I guess it is, because it's just like a moving image.
Yeah.
But
no, 100%. Yeah, it's animation. It's like, there's so many styles within animation, you know?
Yeah. I just did a video about, like I had a little tablet, like a drawing tablet I've never set up really before, never tried out. So I just got into like, did some digital painting the other day, which was really cool. But I don't know, I've been doing some like video editing. But I guess I like that a lot because it's like so crisp. Because like this, like everything that you make can be like so clean, like all the lines, just like the style of art that I like.
So are you trying to mimic the black line style on the digital?
Not really the black line. It's easier to work with color, I guess, on digital, because you can keep changing the color. So you're like, once you lay a Sharpie line down, like you can't really go over a Sharpie line with another color if you want to change it.
Yeah.
Only a darker color.
Right.
So that's like, it's easier to work with color with digital.
Yeah.
With a digital medium, because I've never really worked with color that much before.
Yeah, I mean, you got unlimited chances.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's that changed it? Being able to rework it as many times as you want or don't want, or just, I guess, you know, like with digital you can like refine it,
yeah, well, I mean, it's like different though. It's like a lot different because I'm not going for the same thing. Like I haven't been making a lot of like still images, which is like what a drawing or painting is.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to make just like videos or like animations or that kind of thing.
Yeah. So okay. So how do you go about making an animation? So you're making these for music or something, right?
Yeah, just like for music, pretty mostly.
And they're like,
we're almost done.
Yeah.
A really big one, which I just kind of like went all out on and like learned so much in such a quick period of time. I thought it would take me like months and months. It ended up taking me like 2 months.
Yeah. Dude, you went at it, and yeah, what's that been like? Learning that, and how do you go about making a visual for music? Like, because these are crazy images that are just like it's hard to describe, but they're very captivating, like immersive, like visuals where something like you kind of like. How would you describe it? I
don't know. It's I mean, a lot of what I've been doing is just like I'm kind of limited with the program that I have. So a lot of it's a lot like very similar, very kaleidoscopic.
Yeah.
Kaleidoscopic. But I don't know. Some parts are kind of heavy on the eyes, but overall forgot your question. It's I
guess I'm just like wondering if like,
oh right, it kind of like feels like cheating sometimes because of how easy it is to make something that looks really cool. And then you just kind of like change a little bit of it and make that happen like over some time. It becomes a video, but it just kind of appeared out of nowhere. But like it wouldn't have happened unless you did that. So it's like an original thing, right? But it feels so easy. Not easy. It's hard to learn everything about it. But just like making something that looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun. But at the same time, it's like, is that what it's all about? Is just making something that looks cool? Or like, should it be something more?
What is it all about?
I don't know.
There's different projects out.
There's so many things that it is about.
Right. Some stuff like the sole
each
mission
project is a different is for a different purpose, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the sole mission is just to look cool as fuck.
Right? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah. But everyone's different, and
right. And we've always just been the make it look cool type people. I don't know. I guess rather than there's not a whole lot of deep meaning or something in my art.
Yeah.
Than there is in a lot of famous art.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I feel like a lot of I don't know, that kind of brings me back to the value of art, because it seems, or I read somewhere, but it also seems like the majority of pieces that are really well known and everything have a purposeful meaning behind them.
Mm-hmm. That's what brings value to them.
Right. Yeah, it's not the this is really valuable because it just looks really interesting.
Yeah.
Visually, I guess.
There's more.
But that's what I I guess that's what I've done my whole thing, is my whole time doing drawings and stuff is just I want to make it just look interesting. I kind of like the I kind of like when my eyes hurt a little bit, get a little dizzy from looking at an image.
Yeah.
So I like to make that kind of stuff. If you go check out the video that we're going to put out soon, it might hurt your eyes a little bit in some spots, but I kind of like that.
If you're into that, it's pretty dope.
Yeah. But there's no meaning behind it. It's all just random.
Yeah.
Kind of pretty much.
It's stimulating for sure, and it's that's weird. I had this really random thought actually not too long ago, thinking about making art and thinking about how it's similar to obtaining orgasms. Okay, so
okay.
You can either masturbate or have sex with someone, right? Mm-hmm. There's a fuck ton of ways, okay, but
yeah.
Those are the two
sure.
So either you're
right.
doing it for yourself, to make yourself feel good, or you're doing it for someone else to make them feel good. And that's kind of the art, making art just to for me to look at and enjoy, where there's not this big meaning where it's gonna connect to other people.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there's similar people. I like your art because we have this similar style. So the stuff that you make that's gonna look good to you is also cool for me to look at. So it's kind of cool because no matter how you go about it, there's always your art always connect to someone else. I've always found through the weird
for sure.
and the strange. There's always no matter how weird and strange it is, there's someone else out there who will resonate with it,
yeah.
which has been cool.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, and definitely experienced that through going through to art shows and Big Dub and having people interact and see my art. That was an interesting experience, just getting a whole variety of outside perspective.
Yeah, just random public feedback.
Yeah.
Not feedback from the people in your art class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know, it's cool, and it's something I feel has been missing recently, but do you try and get like feedback for your work still?
I mean, yes, I do, and I have been. I mean, that's kind of why I like started a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I just want to start just throwing it out there to the world because there is people that are gonna like it.
I guess like what's that like having like people interact with your art, like because
another thing was like doing the live paintings, you know, that was in the moment, like creating stuff with people interacting with you. Like what was that like for you?
That totally, I mean, it's like just as, it's kind of is similar to how it felt painting with you and Yanni for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like just someone else is there. You don't know what's going to happen, what they're going to do. And it just lets you like let go kind of more. Just like not care as much about each individual part, but care more about like the whole.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, that was like one of the principles that we learned. That was like the first art class, you know, Gestalt. You know, the sum is more greater than the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. You know?
Yeah.
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 So that's kind of more of the abstract mindset, maybe.
Right.
For me, at least.
Yeah, because a lot of our pieces started off with just crazy like marks, like, and doing like bold moves and like just like throwing stuff on top of each other until like something that came out of it, like just not focusing on one thing, you know, really focusing on just like everything and nothing, you know.
Yeah.
There's this weird like flow state where like a lot of the times when like, especially like collabing, like I like felt this like where I didn't have to like think about like what I was creating. There were like, obviously like there's all like different kinds of moments, but for like a lot of it, like you just like are able to let go, because it's more just like I felt like I was more just there to create, you know. There was like, we never talked about it, which was crazy. We never like planned out ideas. We just just went at it and tried to like make it cohesive. And like it was weird because I felt like you like create this connection through it, you know, because we didn't have to talk about it.
Yeah, no, you definitely do. It's like you become, what's the word? Telepathic almost.
Yeah.
Like you know what the person's about to do.
Yeah.
When you create so much with them.
Yeah, and
it's like two cohesive brains working on one piece. I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting to think about.
Yeah. And then even like moving
like
on,
especially
like,
doing that gigantic thing in your basement, and I was there for 5 days straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, that's crazy.
That was one of the craziest
bonding
pieces I've done.
Experiences.
Yeah, because it was like, what was it? How long was it?
It was like 10 feet long, I think.
Yeah, 10 feet long, and it was all black
like
markers
2.5 feet
like,
tall.
Yeah.
Just all Sharpie.
And that one, same thing. Like, no, we didn't start off with like, we kind of just like started sketching. I'd like random stuff on, like, start with pencil, like, and it just morphed into these faces. And that was like that's been such a big theme in my art, but it sprouted from like you and Yanni, was just seeing faces and everything and seeing like creatures.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of just, we've evolved to like have the need to recognize faces in anything, just in case. Right.
As like a danger kind of like.
Yeah, I think so.
Predatorial.
Yeah, you're just always on. If you see a face, you're gonna. If you see something that resembles a face, you're gonna perceive it as a face.
Yeah.
So that's super easy in art. So maybe people looking at like a face on a painting is like they're like a predator.
The painting's the predator.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's I like that for a name or something. The painting predators. But
predators in the painting.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because I see it the most in nature too, like looking at trees or like bark or different like leaves and like textures like that. I'll always see faces.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of like back to like the animal like hunting and like so I don't know, it's weird, but now it's like to the point where I can't help but turn pieces into like faces and creatures. Like everything I do has it.
That's what it becomes.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And it's cool. It's like become this game where it's like I just do this random enough and like waiting like when's the face gonna come out, you know? But I don't know. Are there any like common like themes or like other images or marks that like come up in your art? Maybe like stylistic or like.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely use triangles quite a bit.
Yeah.
But going with the faces, I mostly profile faces come up in mine. Not like these types of like, what do you call that?
Like front-on faces.
Front-on faces.
Yeah. I don't know.
More of that seems to come up. I don't know. I mean, I like to not try to have a theme.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to cover, like, if I do like a painting or something, I try to cover the entire thing with paint. And then not even try to have like any themes on it. I guess that is the theme itself. Is like just some color, some paint. And then like, well, I don't know. It's so hard to think all these questions out before you start talking, because
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, art's so weird and just subjective.
Yeah, it is. And like, I remember like starting off, like whenever I would start a piece, that would be such a like confronting moment, like having this blank canvas in front of me and being like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's always the worst.
What are we gonna do? But it like changes throughout time, and like you were saying, like coming driving here, you're on the curve, like coming up, like feeling like the creative juices flowing. Yeah, like same with that, you know. Everything kind of goes like on waves, like ups and downs.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you like? So when you're not like feeling like creative or like doing art, like what do you do then? Are you like, you feel lost without that, or is there like other stuff that replaces it?
I mean, I guess there is. I mean, I feel like I always have like ideas.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just like don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I like love making art. But like sometimes it's hard to like just start.
Yeah.
And that could be like going back to what you said, of just like the empty canvas in front of you. You're like, gotta start somewhere. But I tend to just like try to take in as much art as I can. Just to kind of draw inspiration from it, and
yeah,
like think of new ideas to try when I am back on that upswing of creativity, because it always goes like a sine wave. Like you get really creative, do a whole lot of stuff, have a lot of ideas and whatever, and then it just kind of like comes down, but eventually it goes back up.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff do you like to look at or watch? Or?
Oh yeah, no, definitely like a lot of different types of like art, YouTube videos,
like time-lapse videos, or
yeah, like time lapses, just kind of like music visualizations.
Yeah.
Which is like why I wanted to do the thing with Will. Yeah, just like I don't know. I mean, but sometimes you're just not into it at all, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, there's ups and downs, just, totally.
Right.
And like you gotta step back, I feel like. And it's funny like how art is such a metaphor for everything, you know, like especially with some of like the bigger pieces, like we were just talking about that like 10-foot one, like stuff like that where you're up close and like drawing details in it, you know, you can get lost in the details, you know, and just be so caught up, you never like step back and look at the whole picture to try and like make it all look cohesive and good. And that was just like I found like a lot of stuff like from art, like creating art, and like the lessons I've learned in art have been such a good lesson in life, and like just like a metaphor for life. Like with that, like you have to like step back, like take breaks, and like kind of rethink what you're doing and see how it like goes together with the whole picture. And like there's so many, like I don't know,
that's a good point.
Do you have any of those like moments like where art like relates to life like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely I do. Which ones I'm not sure of at the moment, but I know I've like a lot have just kind of dawned on me when I'm like creating at some different times.
Yeah,
I'll try to think on it.
Yeah, no, I don't know, it's just like art has been such a good like learning tool for me, and really helped me like grow as a human, I feel, because with everything, like you just like everything we talked about with going to the festivals and all the like style of art, you have to like put yourself out there, and like I guess that even is like a kind of metaphor I've gotten from art, like starting a canvas, like looking at this blank thing and trying to think of like how to start it, and it always just like the best thing for me is like not to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because you end up just overthinking it,
right?
Like,
yeah, to me that sounds like a metaphor for like empty canvas, you like the paint being like have a career, get a job.
Yeah.
And oh wait, damn, I had a good point. I just lost it.
Have you like found ways to start pieces now, like, or do you have any like rituals or things you do, or do you just kind of go for it?
Typically when I start a black line piece like this, I'll just draw one like 2-inch line, like a 1-inch line.
Do you measure this
or something out? No, or just something like small, or just like one curve.
Yeah,
like because like the curve of your wrist, just do one of those, and you just build from there. So it's like all built upon one little central point, but the central point gets lost, so you don't know where it is after a while. That's definitely one thing I do a lot.
That's cool.
Other than that, I love to do like a little bit as like splatter paint or something, and then just take that, build upon that. It always just comes from something small and just build out from it mostly. Mm-hmm. I never really do the opposite of that, but maybe I should.
Yeah.
Start from the edges of the canvas, just work in.
Yeah, that's funny because that's like how you would like do a puzzle,
Yeah.
Like start from the outside and build in, but that's kind of like that feels weird to me, with art. I feel like I tend to always start somewhere inside the canvas.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just found like starting with randomness, like a splatter or something. It kind of like throws this element of like nature and like randomness and like total like unknown into it, to where like that's like what makes the art almost.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like my favorite way of bringing those two styles that we were talking about together. Just like a little bit of the abstract paint splatter style, and then just build upon that with like super crisp stuff. I love that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Alright, so like what's the biggest problem I've had with doing black line work is always the markers or the pens or whatever I'm using. Like, it's for some reason
they're not good enough, or what?
Yeah, well, like just like doing pieces or stuff, like never finding like the right one. Like, do you feel like you found the right marker, or like do you use the same stuff, or do you use all kinds of stuff?
Oh yeah, no, I use like mostly just fine tip Sharpies. Do you not like them? I'm offended. No, fine tip Sharpies are great, or extra fine. I mean, but there's like, I don't know. If you have a nice like drafting pen. I think that's what it's called. I forget. I bought it in like for college. It was way too expensive, but it's just like super super tiny. You just like can refill it and everything. Those are the best.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
But Sharpies are second best for sure.
So you just use the fine tips for everything?
Pretty much everything that's black line, I've basically used that. I haven't really used as much G2s.
Yeah.
That's like better on like just notebook paper.
Yeah.
I think.
Totally.
If you're doing something on a canvas, you know, which is rough on Sharpies, still like fine tip Sharpies are great.
It definitely beats them up,
but
though.
if you want something thicker, Posca markers, you cannot go wrong with.
Yeah.
They're the greatest for literally everything.
Yeah.
Except for when you're on a plane. Don't use a Posca marker on a plane.
Not recommended miles high, no.
All the paint shoots out of it. It's super pressurized.
Okay, so I always like do art or like a drawing when I'm on the plane just because it always turns out super weird. For some reason, I just get like in this weird mindset where I just like don't even. It just seems like something that what I didn't create, you know? It seems like a different style. Do you ever like experience that?
Well, yeah. Do you think that's because like you have people like watching you do it?
Yeah, it's definitely the environment, and it's like a weird.
That's like I feel like the same kind of thing. Like if you're at a festival doing a live painting, just people are watching you do it.
Yeah.
You do it differently.
Yeah.
Like if you want to or not, you're going to do it differently because you're in public doing art.
Right.
And it's like totally different.
Yeah, no, it's funny like being on the plane where like no one's expecting to like see you like whip out all this shit and just start going at it.
Just like put a GoPro up on the seat and like just start filming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that like a couple hours ago.
Hell yeah. But it's great. It's always like super cool inspiration to just do something different.
Yeah.
So are you
Which is I've been trying to just like think of as many, I keep hitting the mic. Just as many like different style medium art projects that I can like think of that I've never seen done. So I'm going to just start making videos about this, putting them on my YouTube.
Like making pieces out of just random stuff.
Just whatever. Like this thing is awesome. I've been looking at this this whole time. It's great. It reminds me of that like Bob Dylan poster. With like the rainbow coming out.
Oh shit! Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like from this angle, it's
sick.
Super cool. You gotta check this out for real.
Yeah, I mean, just like experimenting with different mediums has always been
this
like
is all glue and sand.
Yeah, glue and sand, super glue, sand, and then like some clear spray paint.
Spray paint.
Yep.
It's amazing.
But that's always been such a like crazy thing about art is like being able to just experiment and use whatever, because I remember starting to like experiment with wax and just going crazy with that.
Wax is great. Yeah, wax is awesome.
And going like 3D and making like sculptures almost out of the art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, have you been experimenting recently with any like new or like weird things?
Yeah. I'm doing this long-term sculpture right now.
Yeah.
Which I think I've told you about, but probably.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be like layer by layer an oil painting through my entire life. I might just add little odds and ends, whatever I find. Like I found a Lego person head on the street the other day, so I just threw that in there. That kind of thing.
Throughout your life?
I want to do it like throughout my life. So it's just like this, it's like a little 8x10 canvas.
Yeah.
It's like half an inch thick now already.
Since when?
2 years maybe.
2 years? What? How big do you think this is gonna get?
I don't know. So like a half inch. Well, I've been doing it more recently. So let's say a half inch a year.
Yeah.
Let's say I live, 60 more years.
Hell yeah. That's it.
That'll be 30 inches.
30 inches. It's gonna be like a little like mini painting like like
it'll be
it's
great.
gonna be like a tree or like
Who knows
that's gonna
what
be
it'll
some
be.
fucking crazy thing, man.
But it's gonna be like, I don't know. I want to keep it like 85% oil paint at least. But
and then the rest just like random
shit. There's a lot of googly eyes on it right now. Paintbrush. You know, some Pokemon cards. Yeah, no, I just love the idea of just making art with whatever, because it's not about what you get. It's not about like if this will stay.
I think it will stay though.
Forever. You know, like
yeah.
It's just about doing it with other things, and which is why I like the like making videos about it, because the video is what stays, and you can look at the art through that forever, and you don't even have to have the art.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of like just having art that disappears. You know, like chalk.
Yeah.
I see you've been doing a lot of like chalk art.
Some chalk stuff, dude. It's super fun.
I used to love like making these awesome like sandcastles and stuff with my family, and like, you know,
yeah,
you're just, you know, it's gonna die soon, but it's just you're doing it for the fun of it.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's really what it's all about.
That's what it comes down to.
It's just fun to do, and it doesn't matter if it's gonna last or not. It's not about. It's never. I think that's been a theme with my art. Is like it's never really been about the end piece. It's always just been about doing it.
Yeah. No, and I think that's what I've kind of been growing towards, because I guess like just, I don't know, going to school for art, researching a lot of like famous artists, like wanting to like become like an artist for a job and like sell your art.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's just not like
it's not what it's about.
It's not what it's about.
No.
I don't know. I've stopped giving a damn about all that.
Yeah.
Recently. I don't know. Not recently, but like since those classes, I guess. I don't know. It's just really, I've changed my opinion on art a lot more than most things in the past bunch of years. I guess it's just one of the more interesting things. It's like the only thing that's really kept my attention all these years. Not the only thing, but you know.
Yeah. You think it's been like the most captivating?
For sure.
Yeah. Why's that?
I just like the idea of doing something that's never been done, I guess. Every time you lay a couple lines on a canvas, like those lines have never been laid like that in that form ever before.
Hell yeah.
And every time you do it, it'll be totally different, and I think that's so cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything turns out totally different.
You never know how it's gonna like turn out, right?
Yeah.
Or like how.
But sometimes it just never stops turning out.
Yeah.
You just keep on going.
Yeah. I mean, like this oil painting of yours, and the crazy thing is you're gonna make these like crazy layers, and then they're just gonna get buried.
Yeah. But it's all documented, so you can see the entire thing.
So you're gonna have like a time lapse of this, or that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be super crazy. Hell yeah, bro. So I got one more question for you.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah, just one. And, it's a doozy.
All right.
But before I ask you, where can people check out your work? Where's this video gonna be? Because like I'm definitely gonna see that. Like.
All right. Link in the description. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all that jazz. Instagram is Evan_likes_ink, because I do like ink. It's a pretty fun substance. It's an interesting thing. Comes in all sorts of colors. The video should be out whenever Andreas is done with his part. He's right at the end. So it should be out, I don't know, in the next week, I hope. Check that out at Evan Christensen YouTube channel. It's like the third highest subscribed to Evan Christensen. You'll find it.
Hell
Just
yeah.
picture of me. And Andreas will probably put it up here too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah. Evan likes ink.
Evan likes ink.
I want to know what art means to you.
Art means to me. That's different than, like, right when you said that, I wanted to answer the question of what is art.
Yeah.
But that's a totally different question.
Right. Because it's not...
Because I have an answer for that.
What art is.
But I don't have a worked up answer for this one yet. So I'm thinking...
Yeah. It's more like going back to, like, talking about the pieces and, like, how it, like, everything we're talking about, like, the perspective, like... Each person's perspective of like what art is and what art means.
Did you ask what art means to me?
Yeah, what art means. What does art mean to you?
What does it mean to me? It really means... It means a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, you know, it means whatever you want it to mean. It's just like, what is art? It's whatever you want it to be. It can mean whatever you want it to mean. Each piece means its own thing. And to me, I don't know, it means, it feels like just being free, like having freedom, you know, having the freedom to create. It's on a very small scale of like freedom compared to, you know, other people. Freedom of the mind. Right? I don't know. It means, I don't know. It's a really good question.
Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Andreas Talks Art. Don't forget to leave me a review. It helps me improve the show. And if you got anything out of this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you shared it with one of your friends. Until next time. Yeah.
Right. Drinking my tea over here.